Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm Franz.
I'm Kevin. Welcome to the new Batcave in Avengers Tower, everybody. Welcome back.
But I do want to get your opinion very quickly on WANDA VISION, the last WANDA VISION episode.
It was really twisted and really unique. To be completely honest, I was surprised when they let her walk through the barrier. That shocked me more than anything they did in the show, except for that final 30 seconds, and you know what I'm talking about.
Remind me what you're talking about.
When Pietro showed up.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But I was really surprised that they allowed her through just the characterization of this is my reality and stay out of it. That really shocked me because I didn't think they were going to allow her to ever cross that barrier, or in terms of what they call the fourth wall for TV.
Now, let me stop you for a second. I need to understand something. When you say they allow her, do you mean Sword, or do you mean the director and the producers of the show?
The creation of what they ended up doing. That surprised me production wise. I didn't think they were going to do that.
Okay.
You know, I truly didn't. And for a few moments, spoiler alert, turn off your computer. For a few moments during that episode, when she had the security brigade flipped around, I thought she was going to make them pull those triggers. I truly did. And I believe the show, because we've only got another 4 or 5 left overall. Actually, we've only got 4 left because the one that was just on was 5. And they're only supposed to be 9 of them, as I understand it. I believe they're going to get darker and darker before it's over with.
Interesting.
I really do.
And what do you think about that?
Again, part of this is what I think the setup is for Doctor Strange too. And you and I talked about that. What I believe they're going to do is that Wanda is going to end up going so far into this handmade reality that she's created, or handmade fantasy rather, that it's going to almost make her insane. But I also believe, and I truly, truly, truly do, that she still is not the only one that's pulling the strings. I don't. I believe somebody else is helping to manipulate her behind the scenes.
Interesting.
Because if you go back and you look at the shows, I believe it was during the first 2 episodes, you saw the person sitting in front of the TV monitor, but you didn't see the face. You saw the arm and the hand, and the person was sitting there in a suit. Now, granted, it could have been a member of the Sword team, but I don't think so. Because they had not figured out that Wanda's manipulation of this whole thing was this little segment of these TV shows. That was not figured out until Darcy showed up. Okay? So, who was watching the TV?
Interesting.
So I think somebody's already in her head. I truly do.
Wow. Here's what I think. I think that it's sometimes very difficult to be objective because we're fans and we want things to work. I'm going to try to be as objective as I can here. And coming in as a critique, as a reviewer of the TV show WandaVision. And I've said this in episode 1. I've said it in episode 2. I said it in episode 3. We said it in episode 3. And we said, hey, if it happens again in episode 4, it'll be too much, because we didn't think it needed to happen past episode 2. If I'm going to review the show, I'm going to say that so far, I would give it a 5 out of 10, which is a fairly low score. Let me tell you why the positive 5. The positive 5 is because the production seems to be pretty high. The production value seems to be pretty high. And it's setting up something, it's clearly and obviously setting up something for the future. So that's like, whoa, I'm waiting for that delivery. I'm waiting for that delivery. And so those two things make it a positive thing. The negative 5 comes in the fact that I don't know that it's a show that's captivating me, that's interesting to me. The TV remakes, listen, I'm watching the last one, episode, was it 5?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at it and I'm seeing a lot of mistakes. I'm seeing a lot of errors, technical errors.
You're testing me.
No, I'm not.
I know I look different.
Why do you look different?
You tell me. I mean,
Remember,
directing missteps, poor performances, acting-wise, things that don't quite add up and make sense to me. And I found myself giving it a pass because it's WandaVision and because it's Marvel. And I'm like, well, wait, I shouldn't do that. Let me judge it objectively. So going back, the whole sitcom presentation doesn't really add up. It doesn't make sense to me. You start with the first episode, the black and white issues. What's happening? So let's assume that Wanda is creating an alternate reality, right? Let's assume that that's what's happening, because that's what's been explained as she's creating her own world. And you had a brilliant explanation as to why that world was set in the 50s. But then what's the explanation as to why it goes to the 60s and then the 70s and then the 80s? Because if you're creating an alternate reality, you don't create the reality as a TV show. And then your reality is your reality. Who's editing it to make it a TV show so that people can view it? That doesn't make sense to me. So Wanda is creating an alternate reality, right? And let's say her perception of reality is 1950s television show. That's acceptable. I can get that. So now she's living in a black and white world, dressed like a 1950s person and talking like a 1950s person, even talking like a 1950s TV show person.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. That makes sense. But then how do you then edit that reality to be a TV show? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And not only are you editing it to be a TV show, in other words, editing is a job, as you know better than anyone. Who's cutting this, splicing the film to make it an editing, a TV show, and then transmitting that signal for someone to pick up? Why would Wanda do that in that alternate reality? So therein lies that why you're saying that third person. So things like that are not adding up to me in a way that makes sense, unless of course they come up with the explanation of a third person manipulating them. I said in the last show that we get it. We already get it. We get it that she's creating an alternate reality. I don't need to see 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. I don't need to see that. It's getting boring to me. I'm sorry. It's just no longer interesting to me. It was cute, in the first one. It was kind of okay in the second one. But all right, I don't need to see that. Like you said in the last time, I don't need to see the 1980s. I didn't need to see the 1980s. I really didn't. And so the truth of the matter is that I was almost comparing it to Batwoman in this sense. I know this is sacrilegious what I'm about to say, but the truth of the matter is that when you look at, particularly in the last episode, when you look at the performances,
Take her out, this whole nightmare ends. We just surrender to that?
We can't outgun her.
All you people who left still have the luxury of optimism.
You have no idea what it was like, what it took to keep the lights on.
He's up to something. Why didn't anyone tell me the plan?
if you were to take those performances and put them in Batwoman, they would be horrible. They would be just as bad as the Batwoman performances. What I mean by that is that when you look at an actor's performance in the Batwoman TV show, it's bad. You know, the person's not a good actor. But I've said before that an actor's performance is 90% the director. So we can look at the overall show of Batwoman and say, oh, this is a bad show. This is a bad performance, and we accept that. Here we're looking at a relatively good show, a high production show, and we're overlooking the bad performances. Listen, I don't think that Monica Rambeau's performance is solid. I just don't think she's coming off well. I don't think the Asian dude, I forget his name, I don't think he's coming off well. I think he's not coming off any better than the black dude in the Batwoman show. I don't think it's as real. There isn't that thing there. I don't think Cat, what's her name? Cat Williams, the lady that was in Thor.
Yeah.
That quirky stuff that she does, I don't think it's coming off well. There's a weird dichotomy that just doesn't work to me. You know, be careful when you're being cutesy and you're not supposed to be. So listen, dude, at this stage of the game, I'm open to, and forgive me for joining on, but I'm open to the show changing and becoming something good and legitimizing the first 5 episodes. But if I'm going to judge the first 5 episodes on its merit, I'm not impressed. Sorry.
Now, hold on.
Go ahead.
First of all, let me clarify, in case you didn't catch it when I started speaking.
Go ahead.
I said the 5th episode was unique and twisted.
I heard that.
I didn't say it was a good episode.
By the way, I heard that.
I made sure I didn't say it was a good episode.
If we go back and watch this, you'll see that my reaction was, I got you, because when you say unique and twisted, when you didn't think, it's like, are you being nice? It's like I say,
I was being
very interesting.
Honestly, I was being very nice because
I totally got that.
I have to be honest with you, my friend. They blew it on Friday's episode with Vision to me. They blew it completely. And I am now only interested in this upcoming Friday's episode to see if they repair it. And what I mean about blowing it with Vision, when the two of them were in the kitchen and the scene crossed into the living room, after he had come home from work, and reality started to set in for him, no pun intended. And he looked at her and said, Wanda, you cannot control me, and you will not manipulate me the way you're doing with everyone else.
He was in pain, Wanda.
Vision. Listen, can we
What? Watch TV. Turn in for the night so that you can change everything over again. No, Wanda. You can't control me the way you do them.
Can't I?
That should have been continued. They blew it by not allowing that.
Yeah. They
broke that off, and they only broke it off to have her kind of do the don't challenge me Vision, and then her brother shows up at the door.
Yeah.
That to me was, I understand creatively, okay, but they blew it. Because he should have looked at her and said, what exactly is going on here? What is happening? What are you doing? This is beyond your magical powers. What's happening here, Wanda? For one thing, I wanted one other visual representation from what they had done in episode 4, and they didn't do it again. And I really wanted them to. And that was, do you remember in episode 4 when he walked into the house and you saw what I call the real Vision where he had the damage?
Yeah.
Once he said, "You can't control me like you do everybody else," they should have switched immediately to the whole damaged Vision face, and this isn't cute anymore, Wanda. What's going on here?
Yeah.
That's what I mean when I say they missed an opportunity.
I agree.
And I couldn't be more in agreement with you regarding Monica Rambeau. They've made a mistake, in my opinion. But again, as you've indicated, they're setting you up for Captain Marvel 2. They're setting you up for Doctor Strange 2. I do agree that Kat Dennings, although I like her little character from Thor, the quirky thing that they've got her doing, they've overplayed it.
Yeah.
Let her have it, but don't let her have it when she's talking to these sword agents.
Yeah.
It doesn't work when if it was a thing where she's sitting in front of a computer at some point and she's almost by herself or sitting there by herself,
Yeah.
and she's literally saying out loud, Jane, I could kill you for this, and why am I here? That kind of thing, it works then.
Yes, exactly.
Okay? She should not be doing can I have a cup of coffee to a sword agent.
Yeah.
That doesn't work. You're pulling it apart way too much.
Yes.
The way that they're handling the kids, it's not working.
Yes.
Remember,
Don't go past Ellis Avenue.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
not working. The kids have powers, but you're really not expanding on that. And you're allowing Catherine Hahn and Vision to witness these things, but neither one of them is looking at it and going, what the hell happened here? It's a bizarre little twist in it, because on one level they're not moving fast enough, and on another they're moving way too fast.
Yeah, exactly. Brilliantly said. Brilliantly said.
So,
no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean just to stop you. But I just think
that's it for me. Like I said, I can't wait for Friday, because all I want from Friday is clean this up.
Clean this up. You need to clean
this up.
And you need to clean it up in a way that makes sense, that explains the unexplainable so far to me. You need to clean it up.
Yeah.
And unless you clean it up, listen, I can't just ignore the flaws. I can't. You need to explain to me how it is that reality goes from 60s TV show to 70s TV show to 80s TV show, how it's being edited that way. You need to explain that to me, because saying that she creates a reality is not enough of an explanation. They explain certain things, but I don't know. It's just, to me, another way for me to say this is that there are some programs, there are TV shows or movies that you watch. This is the way that I always judge things. And you think, oh, I could have done this better. There are TV shows that I look at and I go, wow, this is an excellent job. I think I could do this. I think I could do this. And then there are other shows you look at and you go, holy crap, like, wow, how did they come up with that? Like, that is just brilliant. Like, whoa. Okay. So far, as I'm looking at WANDA VISION, I'm like, you know what? I could have done better. So here's what I would have done with WANDA VISION, keeping the same theme. All right. I would have had WANDA VISION creating a reality. But the reality would have been said this way. She would have been living in suburbia, but it would have been a real suburbia. She would have been a shield Avenger sword type agent. And she would have been, in my version, she would have been a superhero. Because one of the things that we keep forgetting is that this is a superhero genre. And superhero is not about drama, it's about action first and foremost. Drama is very important to it. It has to balance the action. But I'm not reading a Spider-Man comic because I want to read dialogue, okay? I'm just not. I'm not watching WandaVision because I want to read dialogue, because I want to see acting performances. I want to see WandaVision because I want to see what superpowers she can use. So I would keep that aspect of it. She would be a shield agent, an Avenger, a superhero. And I would feed the original fans by putting her up against classic villains, throwaway villains that would be fun to see, the Wrecker or the Living Laser, or things like that. And I would have made it action-packed cool. I would have made it action-packed cool. But here is where her reality would have been alternated. I would have it so that when she leaves the world and goes back to her home, within that home, there's a reality that's not real. And Vision would be there, but Vision shouldn't be there. Like, whoa, she might have children, but she's not supposed to have children. Like, whoa, what's going on? And the way that I would have built the tension, the drama, would be that Monica would try to get into the home, just on a regular briefing, and she'd be like, whoa, something's going on here. Like, guys, did she have children? Or guys, did I see the Vision? Was he, that type of stuff. And then the shield, the sword would have been like, wait, something is going on with Wanda where she's altering reality for her world. Did you follow what I'm saying? So in other words, I'd keep that sense of something is happening, but I'd keep me entertained for TV, for a superhero TV show.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
I understand and agree with you completely, because that's how I feel about it too. It's too much of this. I'm living in the Brady Bunch world. It's already run its course.
It did on the first episode. I swear to God, for me it ran its course on the first episode. I got it. It was cute. All right, I got it. I don't need any more, man. I don't need any more.
And some of the references they made in the last episode, not that she's needling or picking on her younger sisters, but there were direct references to Full House. And
that's right.
That's what that was done on purpose, and because they've been trying to figure out a way to even get the other Olsens involved, but they're refusing to do it.
Yeah. So, and also the last thing is bringing the other Pietro. Talk about breaking the fourth wall. Like, what is that supposed to mean? Did she watch the X-Men movies? Is that what? It's breaking the fourth wall in a weird.
They did that. Pardon me for cutting you off. They did that to appease the audience. Period. Because the audiences wanted him back. A lot of people did not like what they ended up doing with Pietro in
Age of Ultron.
And they've wanted the character back ever since. So they did that to appease the audience. I'm sorry, so I just want to understand what you're saying. They wanted Quicksilver as a character back because they didn't like the fact that they killed him off in Age of Ultron. Is that what you mean? Right. Yeah. People have wanted the character back ever since they killed him.
Yeah, but why would she bring back the X-Men version of of Quicksilver?
Because
not the actual guy.
Because I think he said no for coming back.
Oh, and the explanation in the show is that you can't bring back the dead, but you can't bring back another fictional character to life either. You know what I'm saying?
And when you get right down to it, it's not true that she can't bring back the dead. Remember what the kids said about the dog. She could have snapped her fingers and brought that dog back if she wanted to.
Because the dog wasn't real.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just as the kid isn't real. Like, supposedly she's manipulating the people of the town.
Right.
First of all, that's another big mistake too. It's like sometimes we overlook things. at first I thought she's creating this town that never existed in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And that didn't make sense to me because people would have noticed that there's a town. All right, so now we find out that this is an existing town that she is manipulating the thoughts and minds of the people there. That would have been noticed like immediately. And it would have been surrounded. The way they discovered it, when Monica Rambeau, she's going there with the feet, and there's two cops standing outside, and they're like, well, yeah, I don't know, something's going on here. No, it would have been like, are you kidding me? There's a town. like, are you kidding me? These people have, relatives and relationships. Right. You can't just cut off a town.
That's why I said it really surprised me when they let her walk through that barrier.
So a lot of things, man, a lot of things. So listen, I'm glad we agree on this because let's wait and see. But to me, they have a hill to climb, and they may just climb it, and they may just surprise me. But
like I said, Friday, they better fix it.
So far, I'm underwhelmed. All right, my friend. Listen, I think we've done enough for today.
Yeah,
As always, man. Great talking to you. I hope you guys enjoy these conversations as much as we do. And if you do, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. It helps us out. We're trying to build a channel. And see you next bad time at the next bad channel.
Yes, sir.
This looks like a job for Superman.
Hey, look! It's Spider-Man!
The dynamic duo return next week. Don't miss it.